Here we go, off the rails. Don't you know it's time to raise our sails? It's freedom like you never knew.
Nintendo already impressed us earlier this year with the release of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but they are determined to cement the Switch as an essential system. The console's first year has brought some great titles to the system, but is Super Mario Odyssey the best that the Switch has to offer? I'm gonna give a fairly spoiler-free overview of the story, but be warned that I will be showing clips from the first few kingdoms and vaguely outlining the events of the game. If you want to avoid spoilers altogether, skip to the timecode here. We are thrown right into Mario's adventure where he has already reached Bowser's airship and is ready to save Princess Peach from marrying Bowser. However, Bowser refuses to let Mario ruin his wedding plans and sends Mario flying through the air, far away from the Mushroom Kingdom. It's here when Mario lands in an unfamiliar kingdom and meets his newest ally, Cappy. The two team up to save both Princess Peach and Cappy's little sister, Tiara. Your first task is to find a working airship in order to chase down Bowser, which leads you to another unfamiliar kingdom populated with chain chomps, whatever these things are, and a T-Rex. Also hiding in this new kingdom is an airship called, you guessed it, the Odyssey. From this point onwards, Mario and Cappy work together to collect Power Moons, to fuel the Odyssey to chase down Bowser and his gang of wedding planners, known as the Brutals, as they gather up resources for the wedding. On your journey, you'll explore a variety of kingdoms, but that's about as far as I'm gonna go. There are some genuine surprises towards the end of the game that I feel are just too good to spoil, so I'll let you experience those for yourself. It's a simple story, yeah, but an effective one. You are given a reason to save Princess Peach that has slightly higher stakes than usual, and the concept of Bowser gathering up valuable resources from kingdoms all over the world to use for his wedding is intriguing. Plus, it gives Mario a reason to leave the Mushroom Kingdom and explore the neighboring kingdoms for the first time. The story is not groundbreaking by any means, but it's light, fun, and enjoyable. The very first thing that I noticed when booting up the game was its stunning art style. The classic Mario characters and enemies look their best in the first sandbox 3D Mario title since Super Mario Sunshine. Sure, it may not be 4K resolution, but still Odyssey manages to look great while performing flawlessly. The overall atmosphere of the game is very inviting with an open world for you to explore. The soundtrack draws inspiration from a couple of different genres while managing to fit the environments perfectly. There are also a couple of standout tracks in the game that are some of the series' best. One often overlooked detail in most games is the UI. For the most part, if it does its job and isn't obtrusive or outright ugly, then most people won't even think about it, but it's usually something that I keep an eye out for. Odyssey's UI is very clean and organized, with an easy way to view your progression in each kingdom, which is essential when trying to round up each of the 836 Power Moons in the game. Odyssey blends 2D classic gameplay with the 3D environment, and coupled with Mario's all-new capture ability, there's a variety of things to do. Collecting Power Moons is the objective of the game, and fortunately there are many ways to find them. Some are hidden in plain sight, while others require a bit of platforming. Some are earned through playing minigames, and others require you to solve a puzzle. There are so many moons to earn in the game, yet each task manages to feel relatively unique. Power Moons are scattered across the kingdom's overworlds, as well as in the platform-heavy levels hidden within the kingdoms. Joining the list of collectibles are gold coins and level-specific purple coins that can be used to purchase new outfits for the plumber. The simplicity of the game's objectives lend themselves very well to exploration and experimentation within each of the kingdoms. Instead of leading you down a linear path, you are left to find whichever Power Moons you come across naturally, which by the way do not warp you out of the level after you find them. This really seems like a small detail, but it really adds to the atmosphere of exploration when you can take a small detour to grab a Power Moon that catches your eye without having to worry about losing track of your objective. Another small yet important detail is the checkpoint system. You'll find checkpoints throughout the levels, and they serve as a helpful warp or fast travel point, but they also allow for larger levels and more vertical level design, which we do see in some of the kingdoms. The obvious new addition to the Mario formula is the introduction of Mario's new friend, Cappy. Although the game does not require it, you can use Cappy to perform some pretty incredible moves, giving Mario the most movement options that he's ever had. After a little bit of experimentation, you can easily combo some of Cappy's new movement abilities with Mario's usual set of triple jumps and ground pounds to open up a whole new way to play the game. As I said before, these advanced techniques are not required to complete the game, as levels are often built with many ways to get around depending on the skill level of the player. Learning some of these techniques do make some of the platforming sections easier, and even better, they make you look really cool. Unfortunately, some of Cappy's moves are tied directly to motion controls that are annoying to perform at best, and unresponsive at worst. Waving the Joy-Cons around while playing in handheld mode isn't very practical either. Thankfully, most collectibles are not designed around these motion controls. Here's another spoiler warning for those of you who don't want to see or hear anything about the post-game. Skip to the timecode here to avoid any spoilers. For those of you who are curious about what happens after the credits roll, well, let's just say that we are nowhere near finished with this game. While on your adventure, you may have come across some of these mysterious-looking cubes. After completing the game, these cubes can be destroyed, and in doing so, you will scatter a healthy amount of new power moons around that kingdom. Many of these power moons will be found in places you've already explored, with a little marker on the map to guide you, and some will even open up new minigames to play. It's also by this point that it's almost necessary to have mastered at least some of the more advanced movement techniques to earn some of these moons. Unfortunately, Nintendo does not have a dedicated achievement system to log your accomplishments in the game, but Odyssey does keep a record of some of your achievements which you can access after completing the game. There are also a few things that you can unlock post-game, including new outfits for Mario to buy in the shop that unlock as you earn more moons, as well as some new places to explore that I'll keep secret for now. Super Mario Odyssey is a fantastic game that impresses us with colorful worlds and varied gameplay, all the while reminding us how Mario got his start. It's a charming blend of old and new design that builds on the likes of Super Mario 64 and Super Mario Sunshine, while breathing new life into the 30-year-old franchise. Nintendo has had an amazing launch year for the Switch, and Super Mario Odyssey is definitely one of the best games that the Switch has to offer.